Are you a parent trying to navigate the pandemic, the at-home learning, the whole nine yards with kids at home? If you are not alone. Hi, I'm Carly Myers, your friendly stress management expert, and this month we're focusing on at-home learning and pandemic parenting. And I brought on an incredible guest, Dr. Stephen Greene, a great friend of mine who I actually met during the pandemic. He is a career educator. His company, Make the Grade, supports families with school-aged children. Dr. Greene specializes in academic topics like math and sciences, as well as test prep for SAT and ACT exams and college admissions. His book, Maximum Education, an Amazon #1 bestseller, provides executive function support for students of all ages. Welcome to the show, Stephen.
Carly, thank you so much for having me. Excited. I'm excited to be here. Beautiful
I'm
day.
excited to have you. This is a topic that I really
No
wanted
stress. No stress today at all.
there you go. There you go. So this is a topic that I wanted to dig in since the school shutdown of the pandemic. So I'm really, really excited to have you on. But before we talk about, how we can support our listeners around, navigating this time in terms of at-home learning, would you mind sharing a little bit about how you ended up here? Like, how did you end up being the expert in terms of, supporting students in math and sciences and the whole nine yards?
I went to college to be a teacher. I continued on to graduate school. I originally wanted to become a principal and even a superintendent of schools. I decided I just liked working with people. And through a series of events, nobody's life exactly works out the way they want. I ended up starting a support company when I was at Rutgers in their departments, which we could talk about later. And that morphed into basically becoming a tutoring company. My original mission was to coach up students who wanted to go to college, but just didn't have the chops. They just didn't have the grades. They didn't have the background. In some cases, they didn't have the financials. In today's world, we would call these in underserved communities. They didn't use that terminology back in my day. But that's what happened, and it just basically morphed into what I do. More recently, 5, 6 years ago, I got started involved in virtual education and video-based education and things like this. And it all kind of just came together, with the unfortunate realities of what broke basically in March, when all the schools shut down and almost everybody went completely virtual. So it's sort of a perfect storm in a sense of people needing help, which was always there, but people needing help in a different framework than they're accustomed to. There's always been online learning, there's always been homework. It's just the dependence on it became such a priority and it got blind, and everybody got blindsided. Literally in the span of a week, people went from being in school, learning in the traditional, normal, so to speak, way, to sitting at home, staring at a computer 6 hours a day. And it's I don't think we're quite back yet. It'll normalize eventually, but I've never tried to position myself as the only person who knows what's going on here. There's a lot of people that know how to help people, but I think I have a unique combination of having done this a very long time, having worked in schools, having worked with a lot of families one on one, and being very comfortable and very adept at the virtual piece. So it's been able to help me to serve my clients and a lot of people I interact with very effectively for the last 9, 10 months now.
Yeah, and it's funny because I know that, a lot of people had to do a huge pivot when the pandemic came around. And I mean, I think we all had to do a little bit of a pivot, regardless if we were all online or not before. But I think you were really set
Hmm.
up for success, and having your experience of, 10 plus years of
I Right. Well,
you're
I've
really
been
set up
tutoring
for
25 years. I mean, I don't look it, but
this.
yeah, I've been doing this since the 90s. Yeah, yeah. But I listen. In the end, any business like we're in, which is serving people, is partly understanding what people's needs are,
Mhm.
understanding what they need help with, and understanding how to provide them in the simplest way in their mind and in their functionalities with that help, right? This is not
Exactly.
about saying, here is the only way to do this, and if you can't do it, you're lost. This is about saying, hey, look, what are you good at? What are you not good at? Where do you need support? What can I provide you with? Maybe there's things out of my realm too. Maybe I need to bring other people in or bring in other professionals like yourself. But it's still ultimately about meeting people where they are
Yeah. So
and being willing
speaking,
and listening. It amazes me how a lot of times people just don't listen. 5 minute conversation, you learn so much about what people need, and it's been so much more effective to help them. And I think that's been something that I've been able to bring to the table as well.
yeah. So it's
And look,
speaking of which, I really want to give like talking about helping people and supporting people. I know there's a lot of parents at home that are really struggling this back and forth between in person and online, and especially if they've got businesses and careers and they're trying to navigate this as well. So how, if you had one piece of advice to give a parent right now who's navigating this with their
hmm
kids, what would that be?
very, very simple structure. All boils down to one word: structure. You must create a structure in your home, which is not a bad idea anyway. This is not a bad idea at any point.
Yeah.
And if I can elaborate on a little bit, I've identified 5 structures, and I've done workshops and stuff on this. But real short, skinny of it, there's an academic structure, there's a time structure, there's an accountability structure, there's a physical structure, and then there's also just sort of who you're going to go to for help, a support structure
Mhm.
that all need to be in place, and they all have to work together. And you could probably make it work if a couple of them are weaker, but it's not going to work if they're not working together. Physical structure. You need a desk. You need a computer. I mean, we are all internet dependent now, right? Like it or not, you don't have a decent enough Wi-Fi or whatever, you're going to be challenged. And your desk is a mess. If you can't manage your time, it's not going to work. If nobody's keeping you accountable, it's not going to work. Where are you going to go if you need help? That's always something you want to plan ahead of time. And ultimately, everybody's got to be on the same page. So, one word: structures. Structures. And I think that's, I don't know if it's the secret is the right word. It's certainly not a panacea, but it definitely will get people in the right place to work up to their potential. And that's really the goal. Not
Yeah.
everybody's going to get 100 on everything, right? Not everybody's going to be perfect. It's all about working to potential and being able to do the best you can, even in trying circumstances. Let's not be naive. There are always going to be stresses and anxieties associated with education, right? Homework has always existed. Kids fight with their parents about doing homework has always existed. People stressed about grades has always existed. This is just a different environment that we have to deal with it in. So because it's a different environment, we have to have different approaches to dealing with it. This is where I think these 5 structures are so critical. None of them are hard to do. None of them are that challenging, but it takes a mindful, conscious decision to put them into place, and everybody's got to be on the same page. This
Hmm.
is not. I'm not a person to give parenting advice, but this is not a time for the parents of a house to be on different pages in terms of how this is going to be managed. This has to be a collective, singular effort.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
that.
it's funny that you say that because I was just doing a training with my own clients, my own community about how, 2020 was the year of reacting, right? We maybe were just jumping in. We didn't know what the end goal was, but we were just trying to survive. And going into 2021, what's required and really what was required in
Mhm.
2020, we just didn't realize it yet, was intention, being intentional about how we show up in every area, in with our kids, with at home learning, with parenting, with our businesses, with our relation. I mean, I could go on. Intention everywhere. So this was really helpful. This was a really great start. Now, if people need more support, Stephen, where can they find you?
Simplest place would be my website. That's sort of my hub for everything, which is makethegrade.net, maketheggrad.net. All sorts of stuff on there. There's places that people can contact me there. That's probably the simplest way to do it. They can email me as well, and we can probably put that in, whatever
Put
forum
it in
this
the
is going to.
show notes.
Yeah,
Yep.
sgrade at makethegrade.net. That's the easiest thing. I offer a lot of free service. I offer a lot of information-based things. I do an event, a show every Thursday night that I hoping to get you on sooner than later. Um, Podcasts. So there's a lot of stuff out there people can digest, as it were, if they want. And of course, I have consultations to help people as well. So all
So,
starts with reaching out because I can't find you. You got to find me for better or worse.
so plenty of resources. And just to be clear, Dr. Stephen Greene works with everyone all over the country, if I'm not correct. Is that
I
right?
am in lucky 13 states right now and 3 foreign countries. I have a student in India. I have some in Japan, a couple in Germany. Actually, four. I left one out. Uh, England, Germany, Japan, and India.
Beautiful. Yes. So it doesn't matter where you are, Dr. Stephen Greene can absolutely support you. Now, if you are
And just as an
feeling,
aside, that go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and that's not new. I'm not a new adopter to all this. I've been working online for several years. But
And
yeah, it's out there. So
that's the beauty. Dr. Stephen Greene has been doing this. This is not new. It wasn't a huge pivot for him. This is something he's incredibly experienced with. Now, if you're feeling overworked and exhausted, I've got some good news for you. The Stress Less Company works with high achieving executives, business owners, and managers just like you to find that sense of peace and freedom that they desire. And as a result of our work together, they learn not only how to deepen their spiritual connection, whatever that looks like for them.
sorry.
The universe is sending us some good juju here. Um, not only do they learn how to deepen their spiritual connection, they also learn those tactical tools so that they can experience more free time, more efficiency, and yes, even more prosperity. Sounds pretty great, right? Well, you can apply for a complimentary stress assessment today to start the conversation about working together. Visit stresslessco.com/apply for more information and, of course, to apply. So this concludes this episode of the Stress Less Show. I want to give one last big shout out to Dr. Stephen Greene. Thank you so, so much for coming on the show.
And my little sidekick here,
There you go. If
old
you
school
can't
Yoda,
see,
not new, old school Yoda.
he's got a Yoda. He's holding up a Yoda.
I
May
hold
the
up a
force
Yoda.
be with
Be
you.
wise. Do not try, or whatever Yoda says.
Beautiful. So if you've enjoyed this week's episode, let us know by giving us a big old thumbs up and hitting that follow or subscribe button. Thanks for listening. Share if it resonated, and we will see you next week.